My wife left me when I said no to opening the marriage and went to have her fun. Now she's back saying she loves me when I found a new girlfriend. This is so surreal. It feels like I'm living a fantasy I've had 1,000,001 times, and I don't even know if I want it anymore. This is a long story that no one will read, and I don't blame you. But typing it out might help me understand how I'm feeling here. We got married young at 19 and 22, mostly because she got pregnant. She carried for 8 months just to lose our baby in the end due to complications, but she was there for me. She cared for me, and it felt like we fell in love after we got married. Things were good. She wasn't controlling and she believed in me. She motivated me to do more and more, go to school, get a degree, become an engineer, all that. She even paid for a good chunk of it herself, like most of it when she wasn't even making good money yet. The bedroom took some time to really figure out, but once it was mastered, it was mastered. She never tried to get me to have a kid again either. She was perfect and she grew into being perfect, which just made me love her more. We had something that felt so loving and special and, like, wow. I really just stumbled my way into this from a casual fling to an amazing life and wife, and it stayed that good for a long time. Then I hit 30 and things started to change. It was little things, little comments she'd make about how young we were when we met, how we went straight into making the marriage work in school and apprenticeships, how we never really got to be young even though I think 30 is pretty damn young. She started to go out with her friends more, but not like before. Before, they would come over and watch movies or barbecue or something and chill out, but then she started going out, like really going out, and she just started having more fun without me, I guess. And then it got worse. She sat me down and brought up the topic of an open marriage, more freedom for exploration and everything she couldn't do before me, basically. I said no, and she said she wasn't sure she wanted to continue with what we had, and it all crumbled from there. She just decided she didn't want to be married anymore, and to be clear, she's the one that divorced me. She didn't cheat on me, but it was motivated by the fact that in her own words, she wanted to. I felt blindsided and horrible, and regrettably, I begged for her to stay. I even said I would do the open marriage after all, which she declined. She said it wouldn't be real if I didn't truly want it, and thank God she did that because it's true. She was a good person through the entire thing. I can't explain it much more than she just was. She gave me our house that I paid a fraction for because she wanted to make it up to me for wasting my youth. She even offered alimony, which I should have taken her up on, but I didn't because I felt bad and I didn't actually need it. But the point is, she divorced me, blamed me for nothing, and was kind. I couldn't even hate her. She wanted to stay friends, but I didn't because I was still in love with her. So we landed on staying friendly. No blocking, still following each other on social media, no bad words to either side of the family, but we don't talk except for the twice yearly Happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas texts. The divorce was final in January of 2019, and I thought that was that. I didn't date throughout 2019. And in 2020, I couldn't because of the great flu. The same goes for 2021, just focusing on not getting despond, but I did meet someone in 2022, and we've been dating for almost 2 years in February. It was nice and easy. She's divorced too, and neither of us wants to get married again, and it just works. We were even talking about moving in together eventually, and then my ex calls from her mom's phone no less. I had stayed close to her, not super close, but like a phone call twice a month and sending actual gifts for the holidays. So I picked up with the usual, "Hi, Judy. How are you?" And it was her on the other end. We hadn't talked in nearly 5 years, and then she said to comment "dirty wife" so I can tag you in the next part. Art 2. My wife left me when I said no to opening the marriage and went to have her fun. Now she's back saying she loves me when I found a new girlfriend. We hadn't talked in nearly 5 years, and then bam, there you go. My ex suddenly is desperate to see me. She said that we really needed to talk and asked if she could come by. She could even bring her mom if I was uncomfortable with just her, and I said yes, but to bring her mom. Now, at this point, I thought one of them was passing away. I mostly thought it was her and that she wanted to make amends or something because nothing else would explain the suddenness. She came over to the house with her mom as promised, but she looked fine. They both did, which made me so much more confused. However, I let them in and waited for her to say something. It was the most awkward 45 seconds of my life. It broke when her mom elbowed her and said, "I'm not doing this for another year. Tell him and I'll be in the other room." Which, am I crazy? Or does that make it sound like she's passing away or something again? So she left for the kitchen, leaving us in the hall, and she started word vomiting. I don't know what else to call it. I'll type out what she said coherently, but I want to make it clear it did not come out this clean. Being young and dumb didn't matter when I wasn't with him. She thought she'd be happy to have full freedom to do whatever she wanted, and she was for a while. She traveled, met new people, dated, but it always felt wrong. She knew she regretted the divorce years ago, but didn't want to bother me after she broke everything apart for nothing apparently. She said her friends were in her ear, always talking about marriage and how it slowed them down, and she listened despite the fact that I never tried to stop her from doing what she wanted. She still loved me and wanted me back. Apparently, she never really stopped. She would talk about it year after year after year to her family. And when her mom told her what I had told her about the idea of moving in with a girlfriend, it triggered the hell out of her. That's how she ended up on my doorstep. I felt like I was in a damn movie, except the music didn't swell, and I didn't have the magical moment of the love of my life and I are getting back together. It all worked out. I just felt confused and angry. I told her that this was all too much to drop on me out of nowhere and to leave, but I'd call her. So now I'm here still confused and angry, but I have to figure out how to tell my girlfriend about this. But what the hell, woman? If you love me so damn much, why did you leave? Why were you so insistent that you had to be with other people? You know I'm seeing someone now. You could have tried this for the years I was single, so why now? I feel so suspicious and weird, and I don't know if I believe her. But at the same time, I still have never loved someone the way I loved her. Is it that insane to think that what we had mattered to her, or is that delusional? Did she just have a midlife crisis and regrets what she did? I don't know. I just don't. Update 1. Well, the height of the dramatics is over. I think it went as well as it could have, but I told my girlfriend everything that happened. She wasn't happy, but she wasn't mad at me or anything. I think it helped that my ex's mom had been there and we weren't just alone hanging out. We talked a lot and no, we're not breaking up. Ultimately, I do love my girlfriend. Maybe it's not as intense as what I had with my ex-wife, but that took years to get to. It wasn't overnight either. I think it also helped that my girlfriend is divorced too. And when I asked what she would do in my shoes, she had a lot to say. We both agreed that I'm going to see and talk to the ex about it. She said that if it were her, she'd want to tell her ex face to face that it was over. So I texted my ex, and to be clear, I wasn't vague about what was going to happen with her. The direct text said, "Hey. Obviously, we need to talk about everything that happened the other day, but I want to be clear that we won't be getting back together no matter how the conversation goes. Knowing that, do you still want to see me?" And she did. She said to comment marriage so I can tag you in the next part. Part 3. My wife left me when I said no to opening the marriage and went to have her fun. Now she's back saying she loves me when I found a new girlfriend. So we set up a time and place in public. And, again, my girlfriend is aware of all of this and is fine with it, but she did want to come with me. Not inside where we were meeting, but she drove me over and waited in the car. I know that could sound weird or bad, but I feel like it makes sense. She's being so calm and collected about this entire thing. I think she just wants to stay in the loop, so not a red flag to me. Anyway, I went and we met up at a park and we talked. It was a lot. Of course, there was a lot to unload. I'd always have love for her, but the window to that life closed years ago. She cried, apologized for crying, and it hurt a lot to see, and I felt so bad. I don't want to sound awful or like I don't take my relationship seriously, but for a second there, I just wanted to kiss her and tell her everything would be okay. But I didn't because that would be dumb as hell, and it's time to move on. The talk was hard, and I'm a little worried she's hanging on to some hope because it ended on a weird note. She asked if things would be different if I was single, which obviously it would be. I feel like she thought that question made some kind of point that I'm not seeing. I told her the truth that, yeah, it would be different. And that my girlfriend was the top reason why I wasn't going to be exploring this, but I swear that made her perk up a little. I don't know. Maybe she took it wrong or maybe I'm reading into it wrong, but I don't think I have to worry about her pining away for me considering the circumstances of why we aren't together. I gave her a hug before leaving and that was that. It's still over. Obviously, I told my girlfriend everything, even the weirdness at the end which she didn't love, but she was fine with me keeping her unblocked, though she did say she wanted to be told if she reached out again. She was so mature about the entire thing, and it was really eye-opening and made me appreciate what we have that much more. She's very different from my ex. She's more reserved and quiet, but sweet, and she can still communicate. She just chooses her words and actions very carefully, and that stability is the kind of thing I need in my life right now. I'm still a little worried about my ex, though, considering everything I learned and how it ended, but I did my part. I'm not going to cut either her or her mom off yet because they really are good people. There is only so much I can write in a Reddit story, but I don't hate her for a reason even though she emotionally messed me up. Especially her mom, she's a freaking angel. I think after this, she won't bring it up again, but if she starts popping up or something from her end, then I'll do the hard work to cut her off. That's about everything. It wasn't a big fairy tale ending I dreamed of, but the nice quiet life I made for myself is still intact.